here with my friend, broadcast partner, and everything else, state championship winning coach, Hahnville coach Nick Saltaformaggio, and coach, just talk about what it's been like for you these last 6, 7, 8 months. Just you're trying to, it's been a whirlwind. You had the best player in the state leave the school, and now you gotta get ready to go again.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, buddy, and you know this because we talk a lot, that the loss to Zachary has weighed on me since it's happened, and I think it's kind of weighed on our program. Going in, we really felt that we had a tremendous opportunity to win the game, and things kind of unraveled for us, and you found out really quickly how good the quarterback at Zachary is, and I just think when it was all said and done, the hardest part about not winning that game is it makes you feel like your season was a failure. And then you move forward in your off season thinking you had a bad year. And how many people would sign contracts today if you said on the contract, listen, at the end of the year you're going to be the state runner-up?
Yeah, you did something 48 other teams couldn't do.
Right, right. So it has driven us. It's driven our program. We had a really, really good summer weightlifting session, and I think our kids know that even though we lost Anthony to Kansas, that we have a lot of good players in our locker room, and we were able to pick up a couple of good football players through transfers over the summer that I think are gonna really help us. One on the defensive side, one on the offensive side, and if yesterday's any indication, it was our first practice, and it was really crisp and really fast, and I think they're ready for the challenge of this year.
What did you guys learn from, since you've been here at Hahnville, you've been trying to get this team to take the next step. You made it to the quarterfinals, and with Pooka, you made it to the state championship. What did you guys learn? And I know you're trying to get them get in the mindset of program. Right. Are they close to where you want them to be as far as mindset?
Yeah, I think we are. As a matter of fact, I've said this a couple of times, Pooka just put us a year ahead of schedule. Yeah. We knew coming in, our JV football team hasn't lost a game since we've been here, and our 9th grade team has had 3 undefeated seasons out of 4. So we knew that we were getting an influx of talent. I think the biggest thing we learned, and I told our kids this, one of my favorite quotes of all time was from John Wooden. And John Wooden said that a team that is built with a bunch of players who want to make it great is way more important than having a team with great players. And so that's kind of our mantra now. We had a great player who made our team great. Now we want to have a team of great players.
Right.
And if we can get that kind of team concept going, then you overcome the loss of 1 or 2 great players. And the fact of the matter is we got a locker room of some good football players. Jaquan Jackson is a very good football player. Adonis Freelou is a very good football player. Our second-level defensive players, Amante Jernigan is an outstanding player. John Pearsall is an outstanding player. We have a lot of good football players in our program. And then there are guys who now have an opportunity because of what we did last year. People are back kind of looking at Hahnville again as being one of those 4 or 5 guys every year that has a chance. They have a name to make. Right. And I think we're in that boat right now. So I'm really happy with where we are.
So what do you say to the people that say, well, you lost Pooka, there's no chance in hell that you're going to get back to the Dome again? I mean, because that's what a lot of people saw number 7 when they saw Hahnville football. They saw number 7 for the last 3 years, and really part of his freshman year. I mean, what do you say to those guys, those people that don't know any better?
Well, I think
I do.
Yeah, I think you win championships by creating a team atmosphere, but you also need that great player, and he was that great player. But again, what's crazy, Jim, is at Hahnville, that next guy is in the locker room.
Right.
I mean, go all the way back. If you look at the walls in here and the jerseys hanging on the walls, those guys all came along. When the Landrys left, the Darius Reynolds came. When the Darius Reynolds left, the Alfred Blues came. Well, when Anthony left, there's somebody in that locker room that'll be as good as he is. Now, will he be that type of player? Probably not. Alfred Blue wasn't the same type of player as Darius Reynolds was, but they were still great football players. So I just think that what we do here, trying to build the identity of we're going to be a team. It's always going to be about the team. And I tell the kids all the time, the most important rooms for me are the locker room and the weight room. Don't mess that up. And they've bought into that.
Let's talk about your offense. You got a new quarterback, transfer from Vanderbilt Catholic.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the thing at quarterback that has happened for us with Andrew Robinson coming in is it's actually made Andrew Narcan better, who's a guy that quarterbacked us in the spring. And both of those guys are competing so hard that it's carried over to the rest of our football team. So, we have Brandon Carmadell and Darrell Evans really competing for that lead back spot. And then, we have about 7 offensive linemen that could all start outside of our center. It's one guy there, but they're now competing for those starting spots because they're looking at this competition at the most important spot occur. Right. So I think what both of those guys have brought, and it's really helped me become a better coach, is it's taken me out of my comfort zone of let's just turn around and hand the ball off. Both of them can throw the ball. Robinson has as big an arm as I've ever been around, and that includes, my Zach Mettenberger stories, but he has a big arm. But what he has, too, is he's the son of a coach, so he understands matchups. I think what people fail to realize is even though Pooka left, we got a guy that had 1,500 yards and 25 touchdowns returning. So it's not like the cupboard's bare in any sense.
Let's talk about your defense and the personnel a little bit.
Well, up front, it's the best group of down linemen we've had since I've been here. And there's a kid up there, Adonis Freelou, who everyone is going to be. Right? He's a junior, who everyone is going to be talking about very, very shortly. Picked up a bunch of offers over the summer, going into his junior year, and the sky's the limit for him. And then Jalen Singleton, both of those guys are returning starters for us. Jalen's another guy that has colleges offering him. But those are 2 returning starters. And then we return all 3 of our starting linebackers. And again, very talented players. John Pearsall's a big physical kid. Started for us last year both ways. Was our fullback and our Mike backer. Right. And then Amante Jernigan, again, the son of a coach. His dad coaches at Tulane. A guy that has tremendous football moxie about him. And Corey LeBranch, who is a speed rush guy that we need for our 3-3 stack to work. And then our secondary, like I said, we lost one of our corners, but we picked a transfer up in Elijah Hamilton, who has been very, very talented for us over the course of the summer. And then Cyree Lewis is back, who started for us last year as a corner. And, we've had to replace Hunter LeBlanc, but we've actually replaced him with a little bit more speed. And a kid named Robert Jackson. So we really feel like our defensive skill for the first time is not just in 1 or 2 players. We've had those guys since I've been here, like Dwayne Thomas and Fred Brown and Peyton Robert, and last year Logan Robert and Hunter LeBlanc. But we've never had 11. We got 11 really good defensive football players, and I think we're going to be a special team defensively.
So just talk about those 3 games and what they can do for you as you head into the Monster.
Well, I mean, it's the thing that makes first of all, we started out 1-2 every year that I've been here. Now and since I've been here, we've played Destrehan week 4.
Yeah.
It's hard for our kids. It's hard, and I didn't realize it, but now being here, going into my 5th season, I understand it completely. How much those kids focus on Destrehan. Yeah. I focus on Destrehan, and. If somebody tells me you're going to start out 1-2, but you're going to end up 8-2, I'll take it right now. But the fact of the matter is in our district, we have some competitive teams, but we also in our district, at least the last 4 years, Destrehan and Hahnville have been the teams that have kind of run the table after each other.
Right.
So I need to be able to build some quality points up. And we have to front load our schedule to prepare us for what comes on the back end, and I'm talking about weeks 11 through 15.
Right.
So when you're looking at a John Ehret, a team that's been to the Dome, when you look at a Brother Martin, a team that's been to the semifinals a couple of times, quarterfinal team last year, got hot at the end of the year. And then you're also looking at teams who are very well coached, very well prepared, work hard in the summer. I just think that those are the teams you want to play early. So those first 5 for us are some pretty good battles that we're going to have to, go out and play our best football to win. But you should want to play your best football to win football games. I don't think you should ever walk off the field and say, well, we beat those guys just because they're not very good, but we're not very good. I don't want to coach that way. I want to walk off the field and I want to say, like I told our kids after the Brother Martin game, that team came into our game 0-2. They have John Curtis next week. I never remember in my life ever Brother Martin starting the year 0-4. They were going to give us their best game, and they did. They gave us their absolute best game. And their season changed, I think, because of beating Hahnville. So those are the kind of football programs we want to play. We constantly want to stress that to be the best, you got to play and beat the best.
For those people, no matter where you live in the metro area, if you haven't been to a Hahnville-Destrehan game, you got to go. I mean, just talk about what it's like around here, and now that you've been through a few of them, just that week and that game.
I think it's to me, it's the reason you play the game, play high school football. It's the reason you get into coaching, to play in games like that. I can't think maybe state semifinals or state championship games. Yeah. And, not everybody gets to coach in those games. I don't know why the good Lord allowed me to do it a couple times. I'm thankful. I hope he lets me do it some more. But outside of that environment, I can't think of an environment bigger than Hahnville-Destrehan. And I know there are other great rivalries.
And even Chalmette Holy Cross that you were part of. I mean, but this is even bigger than that.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a game, when you know the game is big, is when you walk out to practice on Monday and they're putting extra bleachers in the stadium. Yeah. It's going to be a big game. Yeah. And then, to build up it never leaves you, Jim. It's not like, okay, this week is Destrehan, we're going to build it up. Or we have Destrehan coming up early in the year and we're going to build it up. It never, ever leaves you. The minute that game ends, it starts the next year, and you just start thinking about it, all over again. It's like, well, hey, we beat them last year. Can we beat them again next year? They got John Emery coming back. They got Quentin Torbett coming back. They got Blood coming back. They're going to be pretty stout on those things start going through your mind right away. Seconds after you've won and or not won that game, and that's how big it is.
What do you think is realistic for this team? Do you think it's realistic to make it to the Superdome in 2 years in a row?
Yeah, I really do. I wouldn't put the pressure on them if I didn't think that was the case. I think we've gotten to the point now, like Destrehan has, like a Zachary has, like a West Monroe has, like an Acadiana has. You know what it takes to win in late November and early December. Our kids know what it takes, and they understand that it doesn't happen then.
Right.
That it's what you do in the off season. It's what kind of commitments you make early in August camp. Those are the things that the lessons we have learned over the last couple of years. Because it's like you said, I mean, it's funny when people say, well, how did you get to the Dome? Well, you had Pooka. Well, I don't think people understand we were in the quarterfinals 3 years in a row. I mean, it's kind of, you build your way there. And I think when you get to those final 8 teams, and you and I have talked about it, do you make the 2-point play or do you not make the 2-point play? Look, I'll make no bones about it. We played a great Covington team. We got the chance to play them here. I wouldn't want to have crossed the causeway to go play a quarterfinal game at Covington because you cover them. That's a tough place to win. Absolutely. So those are the things when you get in those last 3 games, quarterfinal, semifinal, final, do you have the great player? Are you at home? Did you get the bounce? All those kind of things. So I think we'll be right there again. And will we be at home? Will we get the bounce? And I know we have great players. So
we can. You and I could sit here and talk about not just Hahnville, but about football all day long. But I don't think anybody's going to watch a 3-hour video during Nick Saltaformaggio. So we'll cut it off there. Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
We will be spending a lot of time together this year. We got you twice, and you're with me. I think we got 10 broadcasts together. So
I'll look forward to it. I can promise you.
Hahnville coach Nick Saltaformaggio.